Black people, we need to do better. We can do better and we need to do better. Hi, it's Luna. Welcome back. I already made a video, I'm pretty sure, on black representation in media, specifically like anime and things like that, and how we're drawn. But let me tell you how I really feel, like really inside, like in my heart. This is specifically about recreating characters as black. It's fucking stupid. Here's why. And before anybody says shit, I'm darky dark, leave me alone. I'm black. I have the right to say this. Because some people use that as excuse. Well, you don't got the right to say that because you're not black. Well, I am black, so shut up. I'm not that dark, but I'm black. Leave me alone. I have seen black people be the most creative, awesome human beings ever this year. We have made so many creative dances, creative TikToks, creative videos. We have really been coming out on our own. And it makes me irritated, especially in the art community, when I see people drawing white characters being black often. Because why are you doing that? What are you doing? What do you think that you're doing when you do that? Do you think you're showing black representation? That's the dumbest excuse for drawing that shit ever. It is not representation. How is it representation? So when you make Naruto black, it's not black representation. Because guess what? Naruto's still Asian. Didn't change a damn thing about his backstory, his parents, who they were, the experiences that he's had, nothing. And if you are whittling down being black to our skin tone, how is that looked as okay? I don't understand. Honestly, it's the stupidest shit ever. Because guess what? As you're drawing those white or Asian or whatever characters and making them black, new Asian characters, new white characters, new characters that aren't our skin tone, that aren't our race, are being made and popularized. I can't say that word. I'm having a stroke. I don't know what's happening. But they're getting popular every single fucking day. So I don't understand why artists don't take that same time and effort they use to make those characters that aren't us and make popular characters that are us. I don't get that. That's representation. If you're just making black characters that are unique, that are fun, that rise up and become people's favorite characters in anime, manga, animations, whatever it is. If you oversaturate the market with actual black people and actual black characters that someone can look up to, and when they search on Google, they don't just come across a white or Asian character. They now come across an actual black character that stays black after the fact, that has all the black experiences, that has the black name, that has the black hair, and no matter what they look up, unless they're looking up like whitewashing or something, will they see that character white? If you do that, then that's a representation. That's showing that black characters can be popular. That's showing black children that they got somebody that looks like them on TV. Prime example, Nessa. Nessa is a great example of a character that people were drawing, and that's fine because she's black and she was loved and beloved by everybody and she was drawn by everybody. She was a whole trend out here. Look at her. Of course she was a trend. That's representation. Making a character like that who's black and awesome and really cool. I didn't want to say this because, I didn't want to put this out there, but it's my boyfriend's fault, so don't blame me. Cyborg is another example of a great character that I have been simping for years. Great, strong, male character. No one cares. He's one of the greats in my opinion. Never heard any shit about him. Has a decent storyline. Has weird problems, but it's a good character. Solid in my opinion. Some flaws obviously, but he's great. He's funny. He's likable. Teen Titans, he was like the comic relief of the Beast Boy. I enjoyed him. We don't talk about Cyborg though. We don't talk about his great scientist father that basically brung his son back to life. We don't talk about this man, but it's just an example. Turning Sailor Moon black is not black representation. That's just turning Sailor Moon black. It's a thing of, instead of hopping on a trend, why not make your own? Of course, if you make your own, you'll probably get more traction and you follow a trend like 500 other people. There's actual representation in just making your own character and making them great. Heck, even Garnet works to an extent. Sure, she's not a human being, but at least she's a dark-skinned character that stays dark-skinned forever. She's never been anything but dark-skinned. It's a whole thing of where that's black representation, but at least that's a representation of somebody that looks like that person and will stay that way. If you really want the best example of that, it's from the late, the great Chadwick. Chadwick was the person who played Black Panther. I know white kids who cried when he died. He genuinely made the character. I like his acting. He was nice to people. He was a decent man. He wasn't on some bullshit. He wasn't just like a black character playing some white character in some type of diversity stunt. Black Panther is black. The whole story, all from what I can gather, the context of the character was pretty much the same. It was just awesome. He was just awesome. He wasn't awesome because he was Superman but black. He wasn't awesome just because it was Marvel. It was awesome to see a black, awesome, kick-ass character with a black, awesome man playing it. That's representation. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see people screaming and arguing with people about some hashtag on Twitter, because the whole thing with Blacktober, that I can understand why people are mad, but also some of the content in there, I'm like, can y'all just make original black characters? Make black OCs. Hell, if you're gonna have a whole hashtag and be that angry about it, I want to see something else than just Sailor Moon Black. I want to see beautiful black characters that I'm not gonna look up later and find out are white. I want to see beautiful black characters under that hashtag. And do not get me wrong, there are some great black OCs. There are just some great crafted black characters. It doesn't need a whole backstory. It doesn't need a whole backstory. You don't need a whole dissertation or fanfic for that character. All I want to see are black characters being represented, and it's really irritating when y'all are settling for they got black skin. Is that all we are? Is the black skin on our hands and face? I think as a people, as a race, we're much more than that, and we have a bit more value, and we should look at ourselves a bit more than our skin tone. Honestly, we're way past that low level of representation. That's why we have coon-ass characters now. Cooniest of coon characters, because, well, they just need black skin. Doesn't matter how we represent them, doesn't matter what they look like, doesn't matter how they talk, how ghetto they look, how ghetto they act, doesn't matter if they're the ghetto black best friend, doesn't matter if they're the coon character, doesn't matter if they're just there to make the white savior look good. It doesn't matter. As long as they're black, is that all we care about? Is that the extent of what this should be? But that's just how I feel. That shit just bothers me. It really only bothers me because people go so hard and because people think it's so revolutionary representation, and it's like, that representation has been going on for years, but they still make us look like coons. They still make us look like we're ghetto, we're trash, we're nothing. And not saying that, you know, some people aren't. I'm ghetto as fuck. However, I think maybe I just expect more than just that, than just a black best friend. But to be fair, most of that's not happening because we don't take any responsibility for ourselves and actually go out and watch that shit that has that shit in there. I haven't seen people really champion for black characters unless it's their own or their friends. When you go out and you see a black character, a black lead, a lot of people aren't watching that show. A lot of people aren't supporting that character. Hell, even some shows that are flops, people will still support a really great character. I know hella people who have never watched that one anime with the girl with the controversy, but they will talk about her character. They made memes about her character. They still pushed that show as much as they can. I don't see people doing that with black characters that much. Whether it's just black people or white people, not saying it doesn't exist. That happens. But I feel like it's just an overwhelming bunch of not really, not unless they're talking about something to do with black people, but in your everyday life, not on your pro-black shit, are you supporting those black characters? I literally had to check myself on that. Literally, I had to go out and get some black art to put on my wall because I realized I had posters filled with characters from my childhood, yes, but there were no black characters in there. There was no black representation. There was no really cool dark-skinned characters. I had to go out and buy black art specifically so I could have that representation around me, so I remind myself of that. Sure, I draw black characters, but sometimes that's just not enough. I know a lot of people see that as an excuse. Well, that's an excuse in this, that, and the third. And it's like, no, that's you taking responsibility for your actions. If you want change, you can't scream about it all day on Twitter. You have to make it. You have to do the extra work to do that. Y'all simp it up for every Asian or white character that you see with a thick ass. But there are hella good characters, hella good representation for black people that are there. We just have to find it. We just have to watch it. We just have to not ignore it until it gets canceled and then wonder why it never took off the way it did. I'm not saying that's what happens all the time. There are a lot of ins and outs to media that may not help that, but in this age of social media, we can sure as hell do so much. We can boost that shit to the sky if we wanted to, but we don't. Not saying that your whole life has to be consumed with that, just saying that you don't. Prime example, Princess and the Frog. Barely see art of that, barely see people talking about it, barely see people promoting it. I love the songs from Princess and the Frog. The movie was meh, but a lot of movies from Disney like that are meh. Moana was meh. People still push that more than they push Princess and the Frog. Some people don't even know what that is. Some people don't even know what I'm talking about there. But that exists. That's a thing. People didn't care though. But black representation, right? But do you care? Did you care? The story was still interesting. There were interesting characters. There were interesting takes. Interesting music. It was actually really good. If you actually watch it, it was actually pretty good in my opinion. But no one cared. But everybody gave some fuck that Ariel was black. And I'm like, she's still white underneath and her whole story is as bland as Princess and the Frog. But that's just my opinion. There are hella more examples that I can think of. People just flat out ignoring black main characters, black powerful characters, black awesome characters because, I don't know, reasons. But there are examples of them not doing that, obviously. But honestly, again, you have to take the initiative to make something happen. You can't complain about it, whine, cry, and post about it, and then do nothing. And then not support those black characters. And then not support those black artists. And then just give them a like and move on. You're not following them. You're not boosting their content. You're not doing anything of the sort. You're just complaining. I'm a solution-based person most of the time. So when I see a problem or I see something that irritates me, I try to find solutions and execute those solutions so the problem can be solved. But y'all just like to sit and complain. Not saying that it will work, but y'all ain't even willing to try. And that's kind of what irritates me. But that just could be me. I just could be rambling. Maybe I'm wrong. I would be glad to hear from other people. If you want, comment below. But that's just how I feel. I could be wrong. But I will see you guys later. Bye.